Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
There's only one other good play on Minnesota.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
UFC 321, Aspinall versus GANE. We have coffee. We have fights coming up here at 10 a.m. Eastern. Listen, West Coasters, you can wake up early for some fights as well here, 3 hours behind us. But, man, we have 2 5-round fights here. Definitely a mixed bag fight card here we have, JSU. It is a top to bottom, a fun fight card. We have pick six to uncover for you. We got some 100K up top. In DFS, we've got bets to tackle, some prop markets. The UFC doesn't stop. It just doesn't. But this card, you know, we were up to 14 fights. We're down to 13. Different weird slate when it comes to building lineups. I used to always say like that mid-range. This mid-range is good, but I think you're going to have to take some shots this week, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the mid-range, I think, as much as you, but I do think there's some dogs you can take shots on here, and you know, we'll break it down. 13 fights on the card. Card locks at 10 a.m. Eastern time, so hopefully we'll be wrapping up a little before that and get all the fights broken down. I don't want to talk too much beforehand, but it's definitely an interesting card. I think a lot of pretty solid fights on the card, and yeah, I'm excited for it, even though it's early, and I much rather have MMA later, because whenever we have early cards, Mike, I don't know about you, but by the time it finishes, like at like 3 or 4 or 5, whenever it finishes, I'm sitting there the rest of the day and I'm like, the fuck do I do now?
You're waiting
Like,
for MMA.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like we need that like a double card when this happens. You know, your brain just craves for some more. But yeah, you know, there's the 25 mainstay tournament that's like, I don't know, pretty close to getting filled. That'll probably fill out there. I got to be honest, I kind of was goofing around with the showdown. You know, we've talked off air before. I kind of think it's a fun showdown slate, because let's be honest, if you're dead by like the first fight or second fight, you can kind of build a showdown, get back in on it, especially with not having to go out and be out and about when the first and second fight are ending. But let's get to it, man. Let's just get right to the first fight of the night, where we see Jacqueline Amarim versus Mizuki Inoue. We have Miss Amarim coming in at a minus 440 favorite on DraftKings Sportsbook, a plus 340 for Inoue. Again, kind of see what the UFC is going to do here. There's a couple of these fights where they kind of have an A side and a B side, and Amarim is a 10-1 fighter here. The only time she got exposed is when she just absolutely shot her load and had nothing left in the second and third. It seems like that's going to be her downfall, if it ever is again. You got to think that a girl like herself that is, you know, just 30, you know, still building her way into the division, probably won't have that type of situation happen again. They've given her a lot of softballs, let's be honest, since then. The Sam Hughes, I mean, she's been a dog for us in the past, so we know when she lost that one. But I mean, Montserrat Ruiz, let's cross that one off. That's nothing. Corey McKenna, I think she's got to be cut by now as well, and that's no offense to her. The stripper, I mean, what do you think about that hand grab? I mean, she dirty fighter. She's fighting for our money, man, right? Like, we want that.
Hey, winners win. And, you know, at the end of the day, whether you cheat or not, I mean, let's be honest, like UFC, we see cheating like all throughout the card. I mean, how many fence grabs do you see? Guys just getting shot in the nuts sometimes, multiple times in a row. And it's like, at a certain point, I get like there's accidents and stuff, but like at a certain point, it's like, come on. UFC needs to do a better job at just like taking points immediately for like blatant fence grabs and stuff like that. But hey, if the ref doesn't see it, I get why fighters do it. And it's the same thing with the glove stuff. And yeah, we got,
electrify the cage. Electrify it.
That'll keep everyone away from the cage for sure. Except for
Man.
like savage like Marab that are probably like, yeah, shock me. It's fine. I don't care.
Me and my opponent. I
Yeah.
gotta be honest. If I'm playing this particular fight in fantasy this week, it's one of two things. I'm hoping Amaram goes back to the well, just goes for balls to the wall, goes for that takedown, gets that submission early. The pick six is alluding to that, right? 101.5. That's what they're saying is going to happen. But my problem is it's not going to be extreme striking on the mat. There isn't a ton of ground and pound. So I don't know if the ceiling is as high as people think. So if I'm looking and I'm clawing for some way to get to building higher dollar guys in my lineups, like I don't hate Mizuki as like a play, but I also don't think she's got a great ceiling because Amarim's probably going to hold her down for the first round. So like both these ladies have some limited ceilings. Would you agree?
Yes, I would agree for the price tag. Yeah, limited. I would agree for the price tag. Jacqueline probably has a little bit of a limited ceiling, but she still has, the upside to get you a score that you could use on this slate. So, it's a double-edged sword a little bit with that. I think Mizuki's definitely limited because her style, she does not have the jujitsu to hang with Jacqueline if this gets to the ground. So, I mean, I watched Hannah Goldie take her down. So, like, if Hannah Goldie can get her down, she didn't do a good job keeping her down. But honestly, Mike, like, that's what Jacqueline's good at. So, if she gets her down, I have no reason in my mind to think she can't hold her down because her jujitsu is just on a different level than Mizuki's or Hannah Goldie's or whatever. So that's definitely, this is Mizuki wants to stay on the feet. She might be the cleaner striker on the feet. She does do a lot of movement. I wish she threw a little bit more because when she throws, it's pretty decent. She will get hit sometimes, but it's fast, in and out. I don't mind it. So I think she might even have the advantage on the feet, but I think the advantage on the ground is just so wide. I don't mind you taking shots on Mizuki and like MME. I think if she wins, it's like a boring, the fight doesn't go to the ground, split decision type fight where both fighters just score like ass, even though. So I'm probably going to be favorite or just stay away in this fight and not have that much Mizuki and just hope that Jacqueline can, get it done on the ground and, score somewhere between 95 and 110 or something like that.
I mean, if it's a pure striking match, look at these stats here on pick six as well. They're alluding to it. 29.5 significant strikes compared to the favorite that only has 18.5. So they know this thing's going to hit the mat. More physical, right? When you mix in all of the mixed martial arts of this sport, that's where she should definitely shine. And
she gets her down, which I do think she will. I think she can finish her, Jacqueline. So that's
look at the chat. Our YouTube chat saying Amaram first round submission, Amaram submission. So like they're
I'll say second round. I think second round sub. I think she gets it done in the second round. I think the first rounds there's a feeling out, and then the second round I think she gets it done. But I like the sub. I don't know what let's see. I'll look at the line right now for.
Yeah, and the other thing too is the volume does a little bit concern me. If she doesn't get those takedowns, it could just be over on the feet because you look at this, Mizuki's got 4.5 significant strikes per minute out there. I mean, Amaram's there's only got like 2.5 significant strikes out there, so there's a significant advantage, especially for the judges to see out there.
She's plus 100 on DK right now by sub. And,
yeah,
I think that's fine.
Yeah, there is a 33% boost out there. Do you see that one for exact method this week? So we should probably try to cater something towards that at the end of the
and we'll throw it on it because we'll find one that we like and throw it on. But that's definitely in the conversation, I think. Early second round sub. Yeah. Paul, I agree. I think that's the way this plays here. So maybe she gets it done.
Cook her early, get her down, make her tired, get that lactic acid build up.
Do you see anything pick six wise you like? Do you like anything
These are
here?
tight lines. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish I could take the under 41.5 on that Mizuki right there, honestly, but yeah, that doesn't exist anymore.
Do you think early second round sub gets us under the 101.5 fantasy points?
It should. So that was the first thing I'm thinking, because even with takedowns, those are 5 points each, man. And you know, even in the first round, she might not get 101.
Yeah, I think that we don't have to play this fight, but let's just click it for now, and then we can always remove it. But I think
It's a
that's the play
reminder.
right there. Yeah, yeah. Second round. I mean, like I said, if Hannah Goldie can get, I mean, she was getting to her body pretty easily, and she was getting those trips. I feel like Jacqueline's going to be able to do something similar there.
The second time you said Hannah Goldie, are you subscribed to her?
No, not subscribed.
Page?
I had to watch the fight because I couldn't remember Mizuki at all because she hasn't fought in 20 years or whatever it was, 2 years.
And
so I literally couldn't remember. I was like, who
just making sure. Hey, I'm not, just between you and I, you know, I mean, I'm a Hannah Goldie guy myself. But
there might be only there might be only one woman in the UFC that I would even think about it. I'm a married guy, so I wouldn't do it.
No. Again.
If I was thinking about ever doing it, if I was not married, she might be on this card. Honestly, there's one woman that I may subscribe to in that standpoint, but
where's
yeah.
Jessica Andrade?
Definitely not her, and it's definitely not Verna. I can throw them out real quick. All right,
in the flyweight, we go from the women's strawweight to the flyweights, and all action. Actually, a really sneaky, fun fight when people are gonna not think about this one. Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposo. We have Azat coming in as the favorite at a minus 470 favorite on DraftKings, a plus 360 underdog for Raposo. Raposo, kind of from our scene up here in New England, a wrestler at heart, a guy who honestly has come into the UFC and has 2 straight losses. I'm slightly confused when I'm looking at his Tapology, because he went from UFC, then had a booked contenders match, and then right to the UFC again. Like, what am I looking at? I totally forget this, but you know, he's got past the scoring. Let me just say it. But the problem is, I think that Azat is just going to be that much better everywhere that he can probably beat him to positions. For fantasy wise, I'm all over the place. I'm flipping a coin on this one because I can see them stalling it out, right, JSU, and I can see somebody getting a 30-27 or a dominant one. So I don't know. It's a tricky one. And of course, you look at Azat. I can't imagine people are going to get to him at his ownership is going to be looking at about a 15%. So that's pretty damn low for this upper range. And then you look at Raposo, about 15 as well. Just to go backwards for the ownership on the last fight, I have Amaranth about 20% and Mizaki at 10. So that's a fight that's low owned. So you could play for low ownership in that first fight. And this fight also low owned. So, people don't want to play these first 2 fights.
No, people don't like getting burned by the first couple fights, I think, too, on top of it. I do love how you did that whole breakdown. His chat was just on fire. Slapshot saying I couldn't even handle Dern, which, hey, I'm not going to lie. It might be a quick one if it was, but I think that's okay. But then someone said, DFS whispers, guess I'll be the one to admit Andrade OnlyFans is slept on. I was dying at that. I'm sorry.
Poor lady. I mean, she was like doing it just because her management wanted to. And
I will just say, I've done tequila shots like once or twice in my life, and I can tell you right now, it's not a pretty scene. I still remember myself getting on top of a bar after a bunch of tequila shots. I was wasted. So at that point, you might be right. Anything might look decent at that point, but that was a long time ago.
Which I would be looking at you, though. Anyways, my Mitch Raposo and Maxcom here, man, it's buried down the card. It's potential flyweight all action, right? What do I like to sign up for? You've seen these narratives through the last few weeks that we've worked together. I like the lower weight class because there's constant action, constant scoring potential, right? That's what matters in this sport that we play for fantasy, for pick six. And for betting wise as well, honestly, when you're wanting to predict a fight, you don't want the Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou where nothing happens. You want guys to actually go for it. So I do think that they're going to do that. Maxim going to be the better side here, but I don't think you can sleep on Mitch if he's able to get takedowns and control. But you're going against a Kazaki beast wrestler, grappling Samba type of guy. So with striking, right? That's the difficult
I think
part.
this is a tough matchup for Mitch. Mitch is a dog. I like Mitch. He's a solid fighter. He's got wrestling, like you said. He's got pretty good boxing, in my opinion. I think Azat's just a little better in most of the areas, though. And don't forget, too, I mean, Azat's coming off 2 losses, but they're to Ulanbekov and Johnson, like Charles Johnson. Like, those aren't bad losses, in my opinion. So I think he's really good or better than Mitch. The question is more for me. I don't know if I can play him in DFS, but like in pick 6, I kind of like the Azat over on significant strikes. I think this fight goes 3 rounds. I trust the toughness of both these guys. I think they're both pretty tough and durable. And, I think it could stay on the feet for a lot of the fight. So I feel like the 40.5 number, I feel like I like the more I probably would like the more for both guys, but Azat I was looking at. What do you think of that?
It's going to be tight, though. My problem is he's only gotten over that number
2 of his last 3 fights.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty close, 44, 45.
Or we can go under on fantasy points, but I don't know if you like.
No. The significant market is way, way better here. And
okay.
I mean, when you look at Raposo, it's like even if he gets a takedown, it's going to be scramble fest on the mat. It's not going to be sit there and let me get controlled from multiple minutes of the fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. I like that. I don't know if I would have even gotten there, to be honest. The only fluky type of situation that goes under is going to be on a finish. And
right.
We both, you said you like it. I do as well, that this thing gets drawn out, probably goes to a decision. Yeah, that would be the play there, the over on the significant strikes. For fantasy wise, this just falls into that bag of I'm okay if I get here, but I'm not thrilled. Like, my lineup building.
I'm gonna be pretty low on this fight. So if this fight smashes, I will probably not be winning, but for fantasy anyways.
Yeah, no, it is what it is, buried down the card for a reason, but we have probably the people's main event. If people are not calling this the people's main event, there's a problem. Chris Barnett back in an octagon against Hamdi Amdalahab. I mean, this is the goats of all goats in the heavyweight division. And unfortunately, we have to break this thing down. That's what it comes down to, because you got a minus 575 handy anal swab versus the Barnett plus 425. I saw DraftKings Sportsbook put a boost out, a Discord boost only or something. I've never seen this happen for the Chris Barnett side. Are we all in for the memes? I mean, that's
what was the boost? Tell me the boost.
It was something to the effect of, do you think I played it?
I don't know.
Plus 425. And they made it like whatever, like 525. They gave a full point or something. Like it was worthwhile. But I mean, does that mean they're getting so much money on Hamdi that they're like, please give us some Barnett money? Like the thing is, I might be the only person in the world that says Hamdi's not good and he gasses the fuck out by the end of this thing. No. At least Barnett's alive by the end of his fights. He's usually getting finished. And he's not durable. Handy isn't a killer. Can he go out there and implement a takedown early and demolish him? Absolutely. I think there's more past of this thing. No, you think he's done. You think it's like one leg kick and Barnett's like, ow, my leg again?
No, I think that you're not the only person in the world that thinks Hamdi Abdul Wabi sucks, because everyone should think he sucks. He's terrible. He's not good. He's wrestling in like one pot shot like type guy, right hand. That's all he has. And when the wrestling's not there, we've seen it go south really, really quickly. I mean, look at who this guy has fought. Be a minus 500, wherever he is, favorite. Like, he lost to Muhammad Usman, Jamal Pogues. I think that was a split. Dontel Mays was, that fight was whatever. It's a no contest, I think now, whatever. Those aren't good fighters. Hamdi's fighting, and he's barely beating or losing to them. And Chris Barnett, at least to his credit, it's more just the injury concerns with him, but I think he's the better fucking striker. I think he's the better guy on the feet, honestly. Hamdi's terrible on the feet.
Strictly
and I was watching the last Chris Barnett fight, and DC was talking about how him and Cain Velasquez, Chris Barnett was the only one that gave them issues when they would go train there. So Chris Barnett might be sneaky good defending takedowns, or at least making Hamdi work to get up. Because let's be honest, Hamdi's a wrestler who he's not like a jujitsu nerd. He's not dominating you with his jujitsu. It's more just mat returns, right? I think Chris Barnett is going to make him work. He's going to get up. And then once Hamdi gets tired, I know not like Chris Barnett has amazing cardio, but Hamdi is a gasser. Hamdi is going to get tired from these takedown attempts. And when he starts getting tired, that's when Chris Barnett is going to start winning this fight. The only problem I have is, if this does go to the cards, Hamdi might win a fluky split decision. Well, yeah, whatever. So that's the only issue, but I'm betting Chris Barnett. I don't give a shit. I will not bet Hamdi at these odds. I would bet honestly any of the guys. If Hamdi's this big of a favorite against almost anyone, I'm probably just betting the dog. So give me Chris Barnett. I'm betting him, and I'm going to play him in DFS.
Wow. Can we agree at least it's going to be a second or third round if he does get the finish, being Barnett and finishing a tired Hamdi? Because I think it's going to be a tough first round for him on the feet. At least maybe not tough, okay, but enough where Hamdi wins the optics. The thing is,
he's going to win the optics probably in the first round. The hope if you have the Barnett side is that Hamdi gasses himself out trying to win the optics. You know what I mean? At least I know Chris Barnett, unless he just blows out his leg or whatever, his Achilles, hamstring, he's at least going to try and fight for your money. I'll take a shot.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's 5 to 7%. I don't. Who in the right mind on fantasy wants to play Chris Barnett on this slate? And you look at Hamdi at 30%, and I'm looking at the pace of the fight. Really, that's what it comes down to. It's less about the play itself.
9,300. How are you clicking that? Seriously, how are you clicking? I don't know how you're clicking that.
It's the bias, right? It's last fight, Barnett got leg kicked and he went out and he fell down. But this is a bigger octagon. This is do or die, right? Let's be honest. It should be. It should be do or die for both guys. But of course, he's got W's Hamdi in his side. But
you don't have to play Mike's I rather play Mario Batista. You don't have to play him. Mario Batista is good. He's 6,600. You don't have to do it. I just prefer I think a lot of people, I think the opposite, I think of a lot of people when it comes to DFS. For me, a lot of people would rather Mario Batista at 6,600 against Umar than a Chris Barnett at 6,900 against Hamdi. I like to more back some of the shittier fights in general than the higher level fights, because the higher, in the shittier fights, anything can happen. These higher level fights, these guys are so good that even if Mario somehow won, I feel like he's scoring really bad. I don't think he's finishing Umar. I think it's going to be a close fight, a split if Mario wins. Whereas Chris Barnett, Hamdi could just gas and then in the third round somehow get finished because he's just so tired. You know what I mean? I rather put my faith in the shittier fighters than the higher skill level fighters, because I feel they respect each other way too much to have like a banger type score.
When you see that level that you're talking about, when there's two higher level, they negate each other because all their skill sets are just that much better, and it negates the scoring purposes. What's my favorite thing in the world? Ugly women's MMA, right? You hear me say this week after week after week. This is essentially ugly women's MMA at a heavyweight with
It's
two
just
gas.
ugly MMA. It's just ugly MMA. Derek said
yeah,
Barnett take was so insane. I just hit a PR at the gym. Thank you. Let's go, Derek. What'd you PR at?
Why would he ever say this?
Would you PR a deadlift, a squat, a bench? What'd you PR? Friggin' hang clean?
Single digit ownership on Barnett is wild, and the line itself is wild, and it's gotten completely out of control. Maybe I should have hit that boost. It did disappear.
Listen, maybe he's just not recovered from, injury, or he can't move as good, and I don't know.
I mean,
no way I'm playing friggin' Hamdi though. Yeah, you guys can play Hamdi. What's his ownership going to be? There's no way it's going to be high.
I don't know, but you know what I'm staring at? If we're going to go on this narrative and then not give a pick six, there's almost something going wrong. Over 26.5 significant strikes for Barnett. What if he hurts him and then that ref is not fucking stopping this fight? If the ref sees Hamdi hurt and he's like bouncing off the cage, they're the oil people are like, no, they get the side eye. They're like, don't you finish this. and he's just bouncing off, and they're like, all right, that's 40 uncontested shots for Barnett.
Yeah, that's the one thing you're right about. He's gonna have to get him really hurt or out cold to finish
John
this fight.
Vellante over the top. Peter Griffin type of like a million combo. That the 26.5 significant strikes, not to mention all of these fights for Hamdi have been going to the decision. Inherently, that swing. I am
not playing Hamdi. I refuse. Like, he is not in any of my lineups. I refuse.
There's so many stronger plays around his price tag as well. You have to take that into consideration as
Give
well.
Me every other 9K fighter over Hamdi. I have him dead last.
He's minus 115 on DraftKings Sportsbook to get a finish in this fight. Like, they're saying flip a coin because they know that when he gasses, he's not finishing it. And I never thought that we would have a pick six on Chris Barnett at over.
Would you be Barnett over Raposo in that range, or would you be Raposo?
Okay, pure GPP, you have to think of the 5% ownership, because here's the situation. If you're playing Barnett, you're playing him to kill off those Hamdi lineups, right? And smaller field, it's going to set you big time apart, because I think I'm personally struggling to get behind any of these underdogs. I'll be quite frank. I haven't broke down exactly how I look at this slate, but I don't think a lot of underdogs win. But when they do, there's some underdogs with ceilings, and Mitch probably has a limited ceiling in a win where, like you said, if Barnett's condition is to win at 5% ownership, plus all these significant strikes he's going to get because Hamdi is going to gas out, are potential strikes, right?
Yeah.
Who knows what he looks like down the stretch?
I don't think either guy's going to score well, probably.
No, and I'm
but
sure
one guy's 6,900 and the other guy's, yeah, I'd probably be in that range, but that's me. Most people won't.
Yep, and we move from an ugly one to one moving up the food chain. We have Jose Delgado versus Nathaniel Wood. We have Mr. Delgado coming in as the favorite in this one. He's a minus 155 on DraftKings Sportsbook, a plus 130 for Nathaniel Wood. I mean, the prospect is no longer the prospect, right? When does he give up the prospect name, Nathaniel Wood? I mean, he's been in the UFC like as long as Jake Matthews at this stage. Guy's got a mixed bag of everything. He's got all the tools. You've got Jose Delgado, who is knocking the hell out of everybody that he's in there against. I love knockdown rates. It's a beautiful thing for DFS. It correlates very quickly with high scores. Problem is, when they do eventually bust, it typically means their scoring ability starts falling off a cliff. And eventually that's going to happen for Delgado. My problem is you've got a 32-year-old Nathaniel Wood. It's not like you're going against a veteran like, 38-year-old somebody, right? Like a Josh Emmett type of mold, an older guy that's eventually going to get out of there. level of competition clearly better for Nathaniel Wood. Delgado, I guess we haven't seen him really challenged in grappling. I can see this fight going many different ways. It's funny. I see a lot of fights going different ways on this slate, but I still think the favorites win. And this is one where I think even if we have a Nathaniel Wood win, I'm curious as to what it would score because, you know, he's not a guy that goes out there and pillar to post just dominates and gets over 105 points. And I think you're going to need 105 plus points out of winners on this particular slate. So I do really like that inside the distance line. I mean, you look at Delgado's inside the distance, I believe it's like plus 125 on DraftKings Sportsbook. For the value in this middle range at 8,500, it's really interesting. 30% ownership for Delgado. Nathaniel Wood coming back at 20%. When I'm looking at the ownership play, I think it makes sense to play Wood, right? Like he could mix in takedowns. I just don't think there's a lot of scoring ability when it goes second or third round. It probably sways towards Nathaniel Wood, maybe going for takedowns because Delgado doesn't throw a lot of strikes, dude. And he has to connect in order to score fantasy points for you on this slate.
Yeah. So this is a tough fight to break down. This is definitely the best fighter that Delgado has faced here. You're looking at Delgado's fights. A lot of the guys he's fought, they were like perfect matchups for him. Connor Matthews, terrible striking defense, very hittable. Hyder Emil, I mean, terrible defense in general. Just, you know,
he
great
just goes like that. He's like,
it sets up perfectly for someone like Jose Delgado. Jose Delgado is very skilled. I think he's skilled all around. He's got power. Nathaniel Wood, though, is also very skilled, though, and he's skilled in all areas. He can get takedowns. He's solid on the ground and on the feet. He's very fast. He's very clean. Yeah, he's gotten dropped in some fights, but he figures out a way through those situations, and that could happen here. But you know, I think on the feet, he's going to be very fast and a lot tougher for Jose Delgado to kind of get down, as opposed to these guys that are just extremely hittable. So I kind of like getting the dog here more in DFS. This is a good fight to target, though, in my opinion. Both guys are very good, but I have more of Nathaniel Wood, and I think I'm going to bet Nathaniel Wood at these odds. I think this fight should be like a legit pick 'em, and you know, I'm getting like plus 130 on it, so I think there's value on the Wood side.
Also, when you look at the opener, Delgado was a plus. I mean, these are soft openers. We know this, but at least they're setting these lines. It was a plus 130 on the offshore there for Delgado with Wood being a minus 150. So it basically is just completely swapped. When I'm looking at pick six, there's one thing that's glaring here. It's got to be the Delgado under on the significant strikes. He just doesn't have volume in his fights. We have a 2-round up to 40 significant strikes on that finish in the Contender Series. The Connor Matthews 21, and you've got 9 strikes against Hyder Emil. That's all it took. The thing I'm looking at is you got the out to a quick finish, right, with the Delgado 53.5 under significant strikes. You've got the out to Nathaniel Wood going against the cage. If he's more physical, that means that the significant strikes are going to go down, whether it be through takedowns, right? Like, what do you think about Nathaniel Wood takedowns? Is that potentially something that you look at? I mean, there's got to be some plus money on that.
I think he could mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, one of my good friends, YC, said to me, takedowns is a potential ladder. I don't know. I look at that and I'm like, he's smart, right? I think Nathaniel Wood's a smart fighter, and he can get out physicaled himself. And I just think that they're somewhat equally at this, range where they're not gonna go for takedowns, blitz. So
yeah, I don't know if I love the latter, but he could definitely get some takedowns. So I don't mind like the prop. Do you want to click the significant strikes for now?
Personally, and then I do, because I think it directly correlates to the plus 150 or plus 125 inside the distance. It's a guy that I think will slow down during the deeper the fight goes. Would you agree? I mean, look at this thing. It's
honestly, I don't know. He hasn't fought that many deep fights the last couple fights, so I don't know how he's gonna go if this fight goes a little longer.
He's an optics guy. I mean, he's the one hit. Oh, he might win a round based on that too, whereas
He's looking for the big shot. That's what he does. Like, he's looking for the big
100%.
But that's the thing. Like, he's known in a lot of these fights he's had that the fighters he's fighting against are very hittable. So he knows, like, he's going to be able to find it. He might fight a little different with Nathaniel Wood. That's all I'm saying. But let's keep going. We still got 9 more fights to break down, and we're about an hour 15 from lock. So
Mr. Heel Hook himself, Walter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. This is one where it's like, is he going to take home another foot or is he not? Did you see that chain he was wearing? I know we need to break down the fight, but did you see the foot he had on weigh-ins? He has a foot chain now. It's good marketing is what I would say behind it. But now we have Walter Walker is near 4-1 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Comeback on Louis is a plus 300. And also, the biggest takeaway that I've ever had from a weigh-in is looking at Louis Sutherland. What are we looking at? This is like Ian Kutulaba 2.0, is it not? I mean, seriously, like, if he can go out there and use this size and stop a takedown, watch the hell out, Walker. I just think when you're carrying that much muscle mass around, you're going to gas out. And then there's submission possibilities. So when you look at outclassed, the younger guy in Walker, I think this is a tricky one for fantasy. Would you agree that it's very tricky? Because you're looking at people that want to slam in a 9,100 Walker who has a limited path, who is a silly guy, who's going to play a silly game and try to drop down and maybe be off his back. I mean, what happens if he drops down, doesn't get the submission in the first round, gets controlled? Then you're looking at, okay, there goes my 90-point upside. There's more things that can go wrong than things that go right in this fight, and I have concerns. And when you look at leverage, how are you not sprinkling? You're a guy that likes to play MME. How are you not playing Louis Sutherland on this slate? He's going to be another guy that I believe is 5 to 7% owned, heavyweight division, volatile type of situation, takes one shot. I honestly like the under on Walker's pick 6 there right away. I'm looking at that 102.5. I mean, he's not a guy that's going out there proactively getting you control time, proactively getting significant strikes and munches. He's got 15.5 significant strikes on his over-under here on pick 6. There's a lot of concerns, but we talked about earlier when you see these guys moving up the food chain. This isn't a Walter Walker that is moving up the food chain quickly. They rebooked this Sutherland. They could have put him against like a Tybura-esque type of guy, right? A tenured. I mean, that's way too quick, right? But what I'm trying to get at is they could have moved him quicker towards the top 15. I just don't know how you don't get to Sutherland here at this ownership. That it's another. I mean, Chris Barnett and Sutherland are both going to be single-digit ownership.
Yeah. So the way I look at this fight, I think that Walter Walker, if you want to bet against like the fantasy points and pick 6, I don't hate that. I mean, his style, he can drop down for a leg really quick. Like you said, though, if it doesn't happen in like the first couple minutes and maybe it takes a little longer or maybe it goes into the second round, you can easily get under that number. I think Louis big enough. Maybe he can, stop him for like the first round, but maybe in the second round, he's definitely a guy I think is going to slow down. And I think Walter, with the transformation, with, the way he looks, obviously he's definitely in better shape than when he started with the UFC. Definitely taking it more seriously. So I think he could still find a way later in the fight. So I'm more interested in Walker, but I do think you could play Louis. I don't have that much Louis because I have other dogs on this card that I'm more interested in. But I get your take on having some leverage with Louis here.
I'm just saying if I'm doing like multiple 150, I think you can take advantage of ownership on this slate. That's what it comes down to. You have two guys, you can make the simple rule. If not one, I need the other in my lineups. And I'm not saying go through all of them, but just try to double the field even. And you're going to be able to kill off a lot of lineups. I mean, Walter Walker is coming in at 40% owned. And it's not a guy that's, again, proactively going out there to score you points in bunches. The problem is, like you said as well, I think he's just going to be that much better in all assets or facets of MMA down the stretch. So I think it might, be a guy that's just going, like this. Louis is just like, oh, my arms are tired, and those arms come down. In a second and third round finish for Walker is going to definitely be somewhere around like 80, 85 points if that ends up happening. So personally, I take the Walker under. I mean, we're already building a pick six on the first few fights, but
I know
that is more confident.
We might have 2 pick six to build as we go.
Yeah, honestly, that is probably one of the stronger legs that we have and we've put in here so far. So definitely a fight you're going to have to look at for your lineups. And when you look at another one, mid-range, absolute banger, Matthias Rebecki versus Ludovic Klein. We have the money's been going back and forth all week. We have at this stage -125 Klein, Rebecki a +105. Rebecki fight. That's what it comes down to. And the whole situation is I have a problem with him if he doesn't get these takedowns, because Ludovic Klein has been exposed there on the mat. He just can't get up. The Gamrot fight, Gamrot is was an A+ prospect until Charles got a hold of him. But this is a guy who was growing in the UFC, I think, right? Ludovic Klein, he was starting to get his striking going. He had his own crazy physique, and he started to go for takedowns and body locks type of stuff. But my problem is Rebecki can blow up any slate, whether it be him going balls to the wall first round, demolishing you, or he gets his face beat the hell in. And when you look at optics, I don't know how a Rebecki fight doesn't end up with blood. He ends up getting absolutely demolished, or he's getting these elbows off from top position. I love this fight for fantasy wise, because like I said, I struggle to find pure money line equity, even with 13 fights. And I really do like the potential in this fight. How do you see it stalling if it does? You think the wrestling negates itself and ends up being like a 3-round kickboxing match? Because Rebecki fights just do not disappoint for fantasy.
Yeah, I think this is a banger fight. This is a fight for DFS you want to be in on. I'm more in on Klein. I like him here in this fight. I think that, he is the rightful favorite. I know it flipped, but I think it should. Rebecki is just so hittable. He bleeds in every fight. He gets fucked up in every fight.
Eyes
Swelling, everything. And Ludovic Klein is extremely talented on the feet. I mean, Rebecki has been through wars in his UFC already, like the last few fights. I mean, you're talking like Chris Duncan, Oral By, the Fieta fight. Those fights, I mean, those were battles, man. Those were battles where it was back and forth. It just tells you, though, it shows you like how extremely, like, yeah, he's durable, he's tough as hell, but he's also extremely hittable. And someone like Ludovic Klein, I think, can exploit that here. I think he's more talented, Ludovic is, on the feet than all those guys I just said, Chris Duncan, Oral By, Fieta, and he's good on the ground as well. I wouldn't even be shocked if he mixed it up, because Rebecki gets tired. I mean, watch the Diego fight. Diego in the first round gets dropped by Rebecki, comes back in the second. Rebecki's tired. He starts using his grappling. He hurts him. Third round, he ends up finishing him. Rebecki will slow down. He won't stop, though. That's the difference. Like, he's not going to stop. And I think Rebecki is going to force the fight out of Klein. This is one of the reasons why I kind of like Ludovic Klein for DFS is, when you look through his scoring, you're going to be like, a lot of decisions, 1 KO in there, and it was against Cunningham, who sucks, not really UFC, but like a lot of decisions. He's dictating a lot of those fights, though. I think that's not going to, I think Rebecki is going to kind of force the action here, because he's just moved forward constantly. And that's what you see in all of his fights. Yeah, and some of them, it's like a car crash because both guys want to move forward. But I think in this one, it's going to kind of look like the Diego fight, in my opinion, Mike, where he was moving forward and Diego was on the back foot a lot early. And then Rebecki slowed down and Diego started to take over and take advantage. And I think that could happen here. And I think we get a good score out of the winner. So give me Ludovic as the winner. And this is a fight I want to jam this
I
fight.
wish that we had that other 8K fight that was canceled because I wanted lower ownership on this fight because it is a great banger fight. And again, size. Okay, I talked about it. We're gonna talk about a size disparity later that really swayed my decision making later. But this size, I think, of Klein, right? I mean, you're looking at a what's the reach advantage here? It ends up being like a 6-inch reach advantage for Klein. I think he's just big enough to kind of stop these things, stop the takedowns, control on the feet to get that damage off. There's a lot of paths to this, scoring very well. And I'm going to say something that you're going to love. I'm looking at Klein at 15% owned. You got a favorite in the mid-range, low as leverage against a guy who's going to come in at like 33%. I think a third of the lineups are going to have Matthias Rebecki. And I think it's one of those situations where if you want to just go under the field, you can be beating the field by doing that because, you mentioned it. Klein should be a direct point of leverage, whether it be damage coming off and finishing him or even a dominant decision is in the picture, right? Like Klein probably has more of the path to getting a dominant decision than Rebecki does. Rebecki might just want to survive, like you said, Diego Ferreira.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think he's gonna just want to survive. I think he's gonna go and do what he does every single time, which is move forward, try and drown guys in pressure. And I saw I think Anthony was the one who said Klein doesn't like pressure and shoots every time he gets pressured.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he doesn't love pressure. That's kind of why his style has won out a lot with decisions and stuff like that. He's going to get forced into it though. But Rebecki, everyone's like, oh, he's got takedowns. Like his control isn't that great. And once he slows down, I'm not as worried about like Klein shooting. And I don't think Rebecki's going to put Klein out of there early. So, honestly, I think Klein could get his own takedowns here. I think he's going to mix it up. I think, like you said, he's going to use the long range weapons. He's going to try and, use his footwork. And then at times you're going to see him just level change, catch Rebecki. Wouldn't shock me.
I was going to say, how many people have taken him down like after he gasses? Diego took him down 3 times, Oralbai 2 times. Chris Duncan, $1 million. Didn't even need to take him down.
Yeah.
By the way, to back your point, -115, 1 takedown for Klein. There's your
I like that.
There's your nice little prop. I don't think you need to get crazy.
Travis, I have more Nurmagomedov exposure. Just
ownership
a
play.
little bit. Yeah.
Ownership play. Yeah, that's more about the ownership than anything. I think we have another Klein versus Murtakanov.
I'm Klein side. I just think that fight's going to be a good DFS fight.
I'm low on both.
Fight.
I'm low on both
Okay.
Klein and Murtakanov. But
Boo.
Sorry.
All right, let's keep going.
Yes, sir. We have Ikram Alisarov versus the Iron Turtle, Young Park. We have Alisarov as a -230 favorite. Park come back a +190. I'm going to let you go ABC on this one just to kick it off because everyone loves themselves some Iron Turtle.
Yeah, and I kind of get it. And it feels like the line's kind of moving in his direction a little bit, or it has. And it kind of makes sense to me. Like, Park is one of those guys. He's skilled. He's not like, I don't think he's like amazing really anywhere, but I think he's just solid. You watch that Muniz fight. Muniz got a shitload of takedowns, but he made him work. It was like a split decision. I think Park is live here. I think Park is a live dog. Ikram, one of those guys, like we've seen it when he gets those like massive steps up, not that good. But he's got power. I just, he beat Muniz, beat Hawes, Albert. Like those aren't like the best fighters. And I know Park lost to Muniz, but it was very close. I think he's durable. I think he could kind of survive. And if Ikram starts to kind of slow down later, Park could take over. And it might be one of those things where it's another like split type of decision. So I think Ikram has the upside for DFS. I just kind of feel like Park is one of those guys I should trust durability wise. And if I trust him durability wise, I want to see Ikram go a little longer. I want to see this fight kind of extend. If it extends, I could see Park later in the fight taking over. So this is a fight I will have both sides of, but from a bet, I think I'm going to bet Park here at plus money.
I think you should take the spread. I think you should take the spread because this is the
That's
type of situation.
That's the safe one. That's a safe bet.
Yeah.
I don't like the safe bets.
I don't. I love the dichotomy between our styles. I'm a safe, mitigate risk type of guy. I like taking shots when I need to, but this is a situation where Ikram can win one round and win the fight. If you gather what I'm saying, I mean, essentially, he's in this Abu Dhabi. Here you go, man. Get
so
out
you're
there,
saying I should bet Ikram by split decision is what you're saying.
Essentially what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, who has finished Park? You know what I mean? Like, he's just so durable. You nailed it. I wouldn't say a generalist, and I don't mean it insulting, but he's just a generally durable guy.
That's exactly what he is. I think
a guy that can do everything. And I don't expect him to be going for takedowns. If he's going for takedowns, he's going to have a monster score. Let's be honest, because that directly correlates to Alex Skarov gassing out down the stretch. But I agree with you. We need rounds. So I look at this fight as Ikram, here you go, buddy. Here's a potential fight that you're going to win early, or you can go rounds, get more experience, build him back up. But the Iron Turtle, again, I like him as an underdog. Don't like him when he's in Abu Dhabi as an underdog, though. You know, that's a big concern.
I like Wood over Park, Travis. That's me. And Anthony, you know what that means? That means one of us is going to win. That means one of us is going to be happy and one of us is going to be sad probably at the end of this card.
Yep. Ownership that I am seeing on this particular fight, Ikram at 25%. We have Park at 25%. I'm surprised by that, got to be honest. But
I think the line moving in his direction is probably pushing some people onto him.
You talk about lines moving somewhere. We segue perfectly to a fight that has sad push, pull all week long. Nasrat Haqparast versus Quillan Sakild. We have Quillan, slight favorite last time I checked. I'm looking now. He's back to an underdog. See, that's what I'm saying. Minus 105 for him at this stage. It has been push-pull. Let's just call it a pick'em for all intents and purposes. This is going to be a key fight to the slate because you rarely have the 8,100 price fights. It doesn't happen anymore. One of the big things I used to look at is lineup constructions when we have these types of 8,100 fights, and people don't tend to want to play them. They want to go stars and scrubs. My problem is the scoring is a little bit questionable in this fight. You know, Nasrat Haqparast fights do not score very well, but you talk about the same situation where the guys are, you know, moving up the food chain. This is a Quillan who has an opportunity to really make a name for himself here. If he's able to get his takedown game, 8 takedowns last time out, I don't see him doing that. I don't think he's going to have a ton of success. Nasrat Haqparast probably has more of the judging side eye, you know, perhaps in this region. But activity-wise, I want Quillan to win the first round. I think this is more of a live betting opportunity than anything. I think it's a possibility where Quillan can win the first round and you're like, okay, is he okay on the stool? Is he not? I want to gather some live information for fantasy. I'm flipping a coin because literally it's a coin flip fight, but I think that whoever wins this fight can easily get 10x their salary. And I do think the win equity matters on this slate. That's the problem for me. If one of these guys gets 95 points, immediately they're important to the slate.
Yeah, so we disagree on the coin flip. I don't think it's a coin flip fight. Well, it is kind of a coin flip fight, but I don't think it should be a coin flip fight here. Now, I get wanting to play both sides of this fight because they both, I think, have upside in this fight as well. Quinlan wants to get takedowns. You want to talk about a guy that doesn't like pressure. This guy does not like pressure. Go watch that Gage Young fight in the Dana White's Contender Series. He used takedowns in desperation at times because he was getting hit so much by Gage Young. Gage Young was constantly moving forward, and Gage Young was getting tagged too. They were both just tagging each other, but Gage Young kept moving forward. Quinlan needed the takedowns in that fight, saved him a bunch of times when he was hurt. In the Ashmuse fight, it's kind of like similar thing where like those takedowns, like Ashmuse was he was like entertaining the grappling at times where Quinlan would like get him down, Ashmuse would work his way back up, and then like Ashmuse would try and go for his own takedown. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, get back to space. But Yanel is, he's very like one punch, try and put you out type of guy. That big right hand. Like Nasserat is really nasty on the feet. He's got good takedown defense, and he's going to throw a lot more at you than guys like Yanel Ashmuse and Gage Young, who were tagging Quinlan at times on the feet. So I love Nasserat here. I think he's a great bet. I think Quinlan, when he starts to panic a little bit on the back foot, if he doesn't get the takedowns, is going to be in big trouble. And Nasserat has been defending takedowns pretty well in his UFC career. I could see a spot where like he puts it on him, kind of drowns him, and if the takedowns aren't there, he could even finish him. Maybe second or third round finish for Nasserat. Quinlan's tough, so I don't want it to say Nasserat's not going to come out there, I don't think, and just dust him in round one. I don't see that happening. But I do think he can find a finish or win convincingly on the scorecard. So I'm on the Nasserat side. I think he wins this fight, and I'm going to be betting him as well.
He's a constant guy that's undervalued in the market, and I really can't put my finger on why Nasserat is always like that. I don't know if it's because his style is just not flashy enough for bettors to get behind him or sports books to put confidence in him, but it is one of those situations where you hear me say I liked buying low. This is a type of fight where you flip a coin. That's a buy low on either side that you want. And your Hakparast take there for the second or third round, there's some nice prices on the second or third round, dude. It's like plus 1,000 and plus 1,600. I mean, that's the way to kind of slice up the pie here. Even if you wanted to, I bet you the market with the third round or decision is probably pretty crazy, but
definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
That's one of those situations where you might want to look at. But yes, I'm not high on Quinlan, but the scoring ability of this fight is going to be extremely important. Like I said, when you're building lineups at 8,100 and you're going to slot in a guy who's very much likely to get 10x, would you be surprised if either of these guys don't 10x?
I wouldn't be surprised. No, not at all.
Wow. You think that this fight would be like a 65% decision type of win? Is that what you're saying? Like competitive nature? Because 10x to 81 points, I think is very achievable.
Yeah, I could see it going that way. I don't think it's going to go that way, but I could see it where Quinlan early is winning, and then Nasserat takes over late because Quinlan's going to get tired. Like, make no mistake about it. And Nasserat is skilled on the ground as well. I mean, I watched Yanel Ashmuse get his back taken and then reverse the position and be on top of Quinlan throwing strikes. Nasserat can do the same thing. Like Nasserat, and he's better at it probably. So I don't know. I think that this winner is going to be optimal. That's what I truly think.
Yep.
But could it be a decision where it's a super close split decision? It could be. I'm more though on Nasserat's going to win and win looking pretty good.
DraftKings Sportsbook, like if you want to look at deciding factors, plus 350 inside the distance. Sakiled Hakparast plus 400. They think that does price correct. But the problem is, typically when I'm targeting these 8,100 fighters, I want the plus 250, plus 200 inside the distance lines. But I think there'll be enough action throughout that fight, volume, striking, grappling, etc. We move on next to a very interesting one. I talked about size mattering. Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Murzakanov as the favorite. Nope. Again, more push and pull. I guess weigh-ins changed everything, huh? Everyone saw how big Rakic is. He's a minus 118 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Our newfound value on this slate versus Mirzakhanov's minus 102. I'll give it to you. I love the size, man. That's obviously what swayed me. And through the week, when I was looking at things that were mispriced, I'm looking at Rakic and saying I could argue that he could be the favorite, but after seeing the size, yeah, the rightful favorite.
Yeah. Like earlier in the week, I was looking at that fight, and Rakic is a guy that I have backed and been wrong on a couple of times. So I take what you will from this. I did like him in the Yuri fight. He won the first round, then ended up getting finished. He's very talented. He likes to be at range. He doesn't like when you start to drown him in pressure and stuff like that. Used leg kicks well. He should win this fight, Mike. Like he should. But I think he constantly in certain fights he's been in, he should win fights, and he ends up losing or getting smoked. And it's like, I don't know. Like, could Mirzakhanov come in and put him down? Absolutely. He definitely could. He's got power. He could definitely do that. He could win, kind of like the bigger moments, whereas like Rakic might win like the volume, and then it's like a closer type of fight in the end. So I didn't bet this fight. This was one of the few fights I actually don't have a strong like take on. There's a couple fights where I'm like, not really strong take. All right, I'm not going to bet it. This was one of them. I think Rakic should win. But I actually if you make me pick one, I just don't know if I like trust him is the problem. So I get the size. I'm going to be low on this fight, though. I can tell you that. I've liked a few of the mid-tier fights. This is probably a fight I'm going to be a little lower on for DFS and hope it just kind of busts.
I think you're hoping also Mirzakhanov wins a decision or something too, right? Like a 20% owned, 8,300, it probably kills off that type of situation. Probably not going to be a ton of volume. Rakic.
The problem with Rakic is for DFS, like he's not going to throw as much as you're going to want. So you better hope that he like has that one shot that just puts him clean up, because he's not going to score well unless he does that.
Yeah. Two things quick. We'll get off this one. 20% owned for each guy here. That's pretty damn low. That would actually make me more interested than I would want to be. Like you said, this would be the one I'd want to fade if they were upwards to a third of the field. And the second thing is Rakic falls into that Dominic Reyes type of mold, doesn't he? Great when he's like the hammer. When he gets the nail, it's over, right? Like that glass chin. It's unfortunate because they are very talented, but when that durability goes, it's all over. So, yeah, definitely a tricky fight there. We move on to the next one where we end up seeing Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. Jailton Almeida is the favorite here. He is a minus 192 on DraftKings Sportsbook, a plus 160 Volkov. If you're a Volkov guy, another opportunity to get him at an underdog odds. Probably has to survive a very tough first round. Got to stop those takedowns, but Almeida's been hurt. We've seen him go for those takedowns. He gets hurt by blades, hammer fist, bang, bang, couple elbows, loosens him up, bang, see you later. He's out cold. So there are worlds where he does get taken out of there. But the first round equity is very, very difficult to ignore for this fight. Volkov isn't really the best first round guy, but I think he'd be forced into scoring ability for this matchup. And when you look at ownership wise, everybody and their mother is going to want a piece of Jailton Almeida at 40%. It's an easy guy to fade if you want to. You're going to have probably a round and a half of scoring. I mean, if this thing gets stressed out, I don't know if Volkov's going to get taken down, because he has the Blades fight, he got taken down a ton, but when he stopped to get those takedowns, he was able to have some success. So Volkov's another lower owned leverage type of guys. If you want to go there, 15% owned. I don't know if I can get in front of Almeida. Can you?
So, yeah, I don't know how well this fight is going to score. I think Volkov is good enough to where he could slowly start to stop the takedown or slow down the takedowns as this fight goes on. Jailton definitely needs the takedowns. He does not want to be at space with Alexander Volkov. Like Alexander Volkov at space is going to piece up Jailton. So he needs those takedowns bad. I would just say that in my head, I could see this fight going a bunch of different ways. This is another one of those fights. Like I picked Alexander Volkov. I'm probably going to, well, I can't actually bet him. I guess we can't bet him. I don't think in mass because I don't even think the fight's on the board, right, Mike?
Yeah,
on DraftKings.
What's going on here? Do I have to do some digging? What the hell's going on?
It's that like stupid. You don't remember that stupid thing with like the Massachusetts, some of these other states too, with like the flag or the wherever the guy's from or something like that.
No,
I'm pretty sure.
Dude, there's no way. It can't be. Mirzakhanov.
Well, it's not on the board. It's not on the board.
All right, let's do some digging because that's a concern then for
canceled. It's because he's a Russian. He's a Russian. You can't bet the Russians. They won't let you do it.
That's a lot. There's just no way.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
I believe you. All right. That's wild. All right.
I can't personally bet it, but I was gonna bet Volkov. This was one of those other fights, though, I couldn't actually put money on. But from DFS, Volkov 7,400, Almeida 8,800. I think you could definitely play both sides. I'm kind of, from an exposure standpoint, I'm at the field on both guys. So no strong take from a DFS way. Obviously, if Jailton gets the takedowns, he could be good for DFS. If Alexander Volkov keeps it on the feet, he could be okay. The problem is he's going to definitely stay at range, and he's going to be scared of the takedown. So I don't know if he's going to go in for a finish unless like he knows he has Jailton hurt, because he's going to be terrified of the takedown. So yeah, it probably, I think this fight probably doesn't score well, Mike, is my guess.
Wow. So you're going under on that ownership, 40% Almeida then, if you think.
Oh yeah, what did I say? Both guys at the field. I'm not at the field on Almeida. I'm under on him. You're right.
Yeah, so that's a situation where you're hoping for a ugly decision, maybe a dominant first round to win that first round for Almeida, but then he just kind of dominant, meaning just control time, right? Like maybe not just going for it, because if he goes for it and he, gets tired, Volkov can piece him up at distance, so there might be win equity on that side.
My guy Redmond's owning you right now. Mirzakhanov fights out of New Jersey. Volkov fights out of Russia. There you go. There's your answer.
That makes total sense. But regardless of that, I don't know why we can't bet on that. But okay, we can't even bet on our own college teams. Anyways, we move on to a high-level fight where we have an opportunity for Batista to move up the food chain against Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar coming in as the favorite, of course, at a -625 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Come back on Batista +455. We had a lot of questions already. Why not play Mario Batista? Lowest price guy, 6,600. Okay, any form of a win, absolutely he's going to be important. Problem is, has he faced this style of fighter in Umar, who has takedowns in his back pocket, who has volume striking in his back pocket? I'm not sure. And 9,600, it's very difficult to play Mr. Cousin Umar here. I see him at 15%. There's a world where the smaller field and higher dollar, he's even less than 15%, because I think it's more comfortable to build lineups below there, right? If you're building lineups, you're sacrificing a lot to get to Umar. But I mean, Batista's going to be the same ownership, JSU. I see him as 15% as well. And I think it's just lineup construction, right? So if people are going to be playing Batista, and I have a direct path of Umar demolishing that ownership, even at the price tag, I think I have to take a shot at Umar at this price. Even though he's expensive, he's got the ability to get 115 points, quick finish. Not calling the quick finish, but I'm saying there's multiple paths to him being the highest scoring fighter, regardless of price, at 115 points plus, because of the takedowns, the control, the ground and pound.
Yeah, Mike, don't even get me started with this. I mean, Mass is run by a bunch of corrupt idiots, so don't even. Yeah, that's
Happy
100%
Saturday
right.
to you as well. I'm getting ready for fights. My blood pressure doesn't have to go up. I was more worried that a fight got canceled. This
Yeah,
fight
no. So at 5 in the morning when I looked when I got up, I was like, oh shit, it's not on the board. And then I started remembering. I was like, oh fuck, he fights out of Russia. Damn it, we can't bet this thing. But back to the Mario Batista thing. So you kind of talked about it or touched on it. Like, this guy has fought. First of all, I thought he lost Aldo. I thought he lost. That's just me personally. I thought he lost Aldo. It was close, fine, whatever. Mario won. They gave it to him. It's probably better that way, anyways. But Patchy Mix like froze. Mario was better, anyways. But Patchy Mix sucks. We literally seen it. I mean, like, he is not good in the UFC. Like, he's not good. Ricky Simone. I mean, Blackshear. Those guys are okay, but they're nothing special. Like, Mario Batista is a good fighter. I don't know though if he's at the level of Umar, and I think Umar is the only guy that has a chance, Mike, of beating Merab. Like, I think he's the only guy right now that has an actual shot to beat him. I'm not saying he would beat him because I don't know if he will. I don't think he will, but I think he's the only guy with a shot. And I think Umar's going to be, on the feet, they might be very similar. I think on the ground, though, Umar's going to have the edge. Mario's going to make him work, though. I'll say this. But from a takedown perspective for DFS, if I think Mario's going to make him work, Mike, I think we could get a lot of takedowns from Umar.
Yes.
So if we get repetitive takedowns over and over and over again, we could score well in a decision, even if Umar doesn't finish them. So I do like Umar for DFS. I'm lower on Mario just because I don't think he's gonna win. But if you think he has a chance to win, he's a good DFS play at 6,600 because he won't have to score that much to possibly be on the winner. I just don't think he can win. So I'm gonna be out on Mario, and I'm gonna have over the field on Umar.
Technically speaking, Umar is another one of these guys that can win one round. Hell, because of his skill set, half a round.
Bro, didn't he get his shot? You don't think he's going to get another shot if he wins? What are you, crazy? They need people to fight Merab. Merab wants to fight like every friggin' 3 months. The guy is a nut. Like, they need people to fight him.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to get another shot. What are you talking about? Because he fought him once and lost? How many guys have fought multiple times? What do you mean? I mean, Yuri gets knocked out every time he sees Alex Pereira. Just walk by, he gets knocked out. Like,
what would Umar do to Sean O'Malley? What would Bautista? I think he's a training partner, honestly, with O'Malley or some shit too, or they're friends. Regardless, yes, I agree that there's a great floor and ceiling, unknown ceiling, for this fight. I honestly wish it was like a 5-round fight and then it's a title eliminator, because that would have been 3 5-round fights. It would have been great, but we're working with 3 rounds in this one, which is absolutely fine. Over under on takedowns for cousin Umar is a plus 120 to the over 4.5. I mean, they're expecting a grapple fest in this one, which is really exciting, honestly, because that means more fantasy upside. I like it. I love the ownership. There are some stances you can take on this slate to really be unique, JSU, and I love it, right? It's a way to win these big field GPPs. We move on to the next fight where, well, is there an A side and a B side? We have Mackenzie Dern versus Verna Jornadoba on the vacant strawweight championship. I'm sorry, did you have anything on pick 6? I meant to ask. We did all our work early, but I think for the last few, we think they were accurate. Is that a safe statement? Unless I know you liked Hakparas shit earlier. I think that's where we kind of stopped. Mirzakhanov would have been unders for me. Volkov and Almeida for pick 6 kind of is what it is. Has to be an accurate market, right? And then on the Umar and Bautista here in front of us, can't get in front of anything.
I don't see much I like, honestly, from this fight.
7.5 minutes of control time is.
They won't even give us the takedown line, too. That's just telling you everything you need to know.
Yeah, but 7.5 minutes in a 3-round fight is bonkers for that line. But anyways, that vacant strawweight championship is a massive opportunity for each of these ladies. Mackenzie Dern, the A++++ side. We've all been joking about it for a while. The UFC wants to get behind her in a big way to give her opportunity in a rematch we never saw coming, right? Like, whoever saw Mackenzie Dern versus Jernadova 2, in that first fight, it was Jernadova getting the W. I mean, it wasn't the best, prettiest fight in the world. It was actually Mackenzie Dern outstriking Jernadova 83 to 63. It was actually 82, but Jernadova did get the takedown. Had about 2.5 minutes of control time for each lady in that fight over the 3 rounds. The volume was there. I like the volume. I think this is an important fight for the slate when it comes to the 2 5-round fights. And I might be bold here, but if I'm going to play either of the 2 fights and just one of them, I'm probably going to play this one because I think it comes in a little bit lower owned. I hope. I'm praying it comes in lower owned. And I don't know. Jernadova just seems like that one mold. She's got to get these takedowns. I think the evolution of Mackenzie Dern striking has been evolving here. I look at the 85.5 fantasy points. I like the over right away for pick 6. I think that's an opportunity because when you look at the inside the distance lines for both of these ladies, you're going to have Dern as the favorite at what was it earlier in the week? It's taking me a minute to open it. We've got a plus 200 Dern and a plus 450 for Jernadova. Yeah, I mean, I like this fight a little bit more than the main event. I know that people are going to jam in Tom Aspinall, but I like the opportunity that I have for Dern to be 30% owned with Tom Aspinall being 50%. I think that there's a way that can bust at 9,400. My problem is if Jernadova goes in with the game plan of getting takedowns early, she could really hurt the upside for Mackenzie. 8,600 is just very playable.
Yeah, I mean, I think both girls are playable for DFS. Both girls, have upside in the takedowns or in the grappling department, I guess. They did fight like 5 years ago. I kind of throw that fight out. Dern won, but they're both, especially Mackenzie, in my opinion, like she's a way different fighter. Her striking has come a long way. I think she might have the striking advantage here, honestly, with Verna. Verna's going to get takedowns. I think Mackenzie might actually allow some of them. It might be in a fight too where like Mackenzie shows off the grappling and maybe it deters Verna. I don't think it will, but maybe it could, to where this fight plays out more on the feet. I think that's a way the fight could bust. But at these price tags, it's tough to see one of these 2 girls not being on the win, like whoever wins this fight, not being on the winner at these price tags. So I think this is a fight, unless you have a strong take on where you want to go like 70-30 or something like that, you just kind of jam in, go 50-50 or 60-40, whoever your winner is more, and then just play it that way. I think Mackenzie does win this fight. I think her ability on the feet, I think, is going to play a big deal because the grappling could end up canceling out some of the wrestling. Verna's going to try and wrestle, and Mackenzie's going to use her grappling to, maybe reverse positions, get Verna in some tough spots, and maybe this fight later in the fight stays more on the feet. So I think Dern wins those on the feet battles and could win a decision here. Do you see a finish in this fight, or do you see it going 5 rounds?
Verna is tough, but she can wear damage, and that's the problem. Is like, can Mackenzie do enough damage? She just doesn't. She just doesn't do enough to really decisively get a knockout for Dern. If she gets top position and just throws elbows, that's another path for Dern. I mean, I don't know. I don't see a finish, but I still see it being extremely high scoring.
The UFC is definitely praying Dern wins this fight. I agree with that. So, yeah, we'll see there.
I don't want to get myself in trouble, but she's got her eye on the title and Mackenzie Dern at the same time. So, that's
No, she's gonna love these grappling exchanges because we're gonna see some interesting grappling exchanges for sure.
Absolutely. But here's the thing: ownership. 32% I'm seeing for Mackenzie Dern. Jordan Dober at 36 is the numbers that I'm seeing. I would be surprised if that's the case. I have to imagine the general public wants to click Mackenzie Dern, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Why do you think I keep saying we want to get behind Dern?
Yeah, no, I got what you were putting down. I think most of the chat got what you were putting down there. So do you have Dern winning this fight too? Are you?
Yeah, I do, and I think like it's a potential domination as well. I think that they have.
It could be too. Honestly,
and what's our spread at? I mean, I'm curious what I'm not a huge spread better, but I mean, who knows what Abu Dhabi would sway. We got -5.5 at +110. I mean, I think that's a very fair line, honestly. If I'm looking at one of the 2 5-round fights and trying to pick apart the prop market, that might be one that I'm going to be staring at by the end of the night here. And if, like you said, finish wise, I don't see the finish. I think it's just a dominant display.
So what do you think of the pick 6 line? Anything? Do you see anything?
No, I want the under Jernadova strikes. She doesn't throw strikes. She literally wants submission over. It's not even submission, position over submission. It's position over anything. She wants position. So
we can't get.
Dern over points is a beautiful line when you look at money line equity. When you look at the 5
that's what I was looking at.
I
was like, you can't even get the less than on strikes. All right, let's throw that in there.
Yeah, that's the first.
We got one more fight.
Obviously. One more fight? Is there a fight? Yes, there is. Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane, heavyweight championship of the world. We have Tommy Aspinall coming in on DraftKings Sportsbook at -345. Come back on Gane at +275. Give it to me, man. What do you think? Are you a Tommy Aspinall guy? Like, it's hard not to be. Everybody loves Tommy.
Yeah, everyone loves Tommy. I like Tommy too. Ciryl Gane he's solid. He's got skills on the feet. He's very creative. He likes to, he does a pretty good job of, kind of like limiting the damaging shots. Pretty much Ciryl Gane does. He does a pretty good job of that, staying safe. He's got skills mixing it up on the feet. Tom Aspinall is one of those guys. I mean, just so many like quick finishes for Tom where it's like, okay, what am I looking at here? He's dusted, Blades, Pavlovich, Tybura. You look at it's like, man, I'd like to see him fight for a little longer than like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something like that. I like to see it go a little longer. I do think this fight could extend a little bit because I do think Gane is pretty good at staying somewhat safe. So I do see that as a way this fight could extend. Everything Tom says, I think like listening to him is very interesting. Like he was telling DC how like we've never seen him go 100% in an octagon. Like he doesn't do that. Like he trains 100 and then he gets in the octagon. He's like, I'm going to take my time and stuff like that. At least that's what he says anyways. So it says like he has, pretty much just saying like, I have a gas tank. If I have to keep going, like I can. I've just like I found the finish multiple times. And like once he like thinks he has you hurt, he'll definitely be able to finish you. I just thought it was interesting. He was kind of talking that way. Like, hey, listen, like if this fight goes longer, like I'm fine with that. Like I'll be fine. I can serve for shit like that. So the fact that he's saying that like tells me like, okay, he's not worried at all about any type of like, if this does drag out a little longer. So from DFS, this is the 5-round fight. Like if you were to ask me which 5-round fight would you be more worried about like fading from a standpoint, I'd be more worried about fading the chick fight, a 5-round fight, and less about the Tom Aspinall Gane fight. So I picked Tom Aspinall. I'm going to play Tom Aspinall, but I'm not going 100% on this fight. Whereas like I'm pretty sure I'm 100% on the Dern Verna fight because I think one of them at those price tags are optimal. At 9,400, Tom might not be optimal if it's quick but not quick enough, or if it gets brought into the second round. There could be a feeling out process too with Tom and Gane, so like that could take a little longer. That could extend it too. So I've got a good amount of Tom. I'm still going to be over the field, but I'm not going 100%. Like I know a lot of people go 100% on 5-round fights. I'm probably not going to do that here.
I agree, and I think that's the way you have to attack this. If you're trying to win $100,000 by yourself in a huge field, you have to take stances. 50% of the field is going to be playing Tom Aspinall. What does that mean? 50% that don't are going to have an advantage if he gets 75 points. And that means probably a 3rd, 4th, 5th round finish, a decision. Maybe he gets there in a decision. Maybe we have a little phantom, UFC stats that own him. Maybe they type those things. We've seen that happen time and time again. But if you're looking for direct leverage and you're playing a Ciryl Gane, it's going to be 20% owned. Any form of his win is going to be optimal. I will guarantee that, because I just think that means, you're killing the Tom Aspinall lineups off. I think that you are, there's a potential where a lot of the chalk runs out as well on this card. So, he's going to be very important. The sportsbook think it's 1 round. I have to.
The under 1.5 is -125.
Do you see the spread on this fight on DraftKings Sportsbook? I have never seen on the posted lines, like when you scroll, -13.5.
Yeah.
So that means he wins every round.
They think this fight is
over.
They think this fight's going to be over quick. So
yeah, and we've seen it where you said wants to fight smart. Maybe he wants to just take this thing a little easy. I mean, why would you kickbox the kickboxer in Ciryl Gane? I don't really understand that one. But I think that he's getting great training, right? Aspinall's with the kickboxing champion there Verhoeven, Rico Verhoeven, who's credentialed big time. So it's like he's well-rounded. He has all the tools. I like Tom just as much as the next person, but at 50% ownership, I'm willing to just bite the bullet and take it under. I'm more off to play the women's fight. We have about 20 minutes for lineup building. I will give you my X's and O's, how I will be building my lineups on this slate.
Someone said Aspinall by decision 10-1. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 10-1. I'm betting that thing right now.
Not to mention, if you're going to give me like one of those 5th or decision type of lines, how you can get that extra and still be a big number. I don't mind that. I like the overs for
you mean taking both sides of it?
Yeah, the decision and how they have the split one. So
Do you see anything pick 6 wise here?
I think we organically made a pick 6 without us even having to go crazy. I don't.
No, we do. We have 6 right here.
That's why I said I'm not forcing it. I mean, my favorite leg, and I can't believe it, is Chris Barnett.
Oh yeah, and I got a boost too. Shout out to pick 6. Got a nice little 30% boost here. What do they let me put? $20 on it? All right. Wait. Is it 20?
I've been trying to
max
figure
entry
it out.
$20, yeah, I think.
That's fine. Take a boost. We like a boost.
Yeah, we take a boost right
Extra
here.
monies, yeah. They got that boost for the 33% exact outcome. One of the legs I'll probably have on there right away is the first fight of the night. I'll tell you that. It's going to be Amaram by submission or decision at -330. That's going to be a part of my leg when I'm trying to get that 33% boost. I'll come up with another leg that I would use for that. But again, for fantasy wise, what I am doing to build my lineups, I like targeting the Rebecca and Klein fight. I think that's extremely important. You and I nailed it. I love the Dern and Jernadova. I'm locking that one in. I'm actually kind of surprised that Jernadova is on my sheet popping higher owned than Dern, but I think with a lack of underdogs like I was talking about, I don't think anybody under Verna wins their fight. But if I were to give one, it's probably going to be, Chris Barnett. I mean, it's just he's got a direct path to scoring if Hamdi gasses out. So I think that might be a potential. When I'm looking at favorites and I'm trying to slice up a lot of different things, I think people are going to hone in on the 5-rounders in the grapplers. I honestly think it's an opportunity where if you think that there's going to be knockouts, there might be an opportunity for a guy like Delgado to be interesting. I think Wood is going to be popular, so there's leverage on that front. And just avoiding some of this chalk. That's what I'm trying to do, JSU. Can you see what I'm trying to mix with? And maybe live in that middle round. Rebecca, Rakic is now a favorite. I mean, I don't hate Rakic. He's a favorite, 7,900. I like long-term playing these types of guys that are giving me value on my fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I like Rakic more, I think, as a bet than as a fantasy play, just because of his volume. But yeah, I get it, and I agree with Christina too. He's gonna try and jab and run all day. That's what he's gonna do, 100%.
Track meet, but that's fine for overs if you have in that fight.
Yeah, and Alex said he got 12-1. That, I mean, definitely, price shop around. I use DK, but if you have other books, definitely price shop and see what you can get. So,
and I'm context the slate. If you're not focusing on a fight like the Haqparast and Sakild fight, you're going to have a guy in Sakild who is going to close probably the favorite and have the ownership. That's an opportunity. And we look for opportunities to beat the field. It's half of the field is going to play Haqparast. That's a very interesting spot for you, JSU, because you're killing off a lot if you're getting that 8,100 win equity. And I would be shocked if one of those guys don't get 10x, at least 85 points. How are you building your lineups? Any strong takes? Because again, I like under on Aspinall just to the field. I like over on Cousin Umar. I mean, look at, if you're looking at this 9K range, you've got Hamdi, Aspinall, Amarim, and Nurmagomedov, and it seems like Nurmagomedov is the lowest owned. If you want to keep Maksum as well, but I don't count him in that.
Yeah, and since I'm not like locking Aspinall, even though I still have a lot of them, it's going to give me a little more Umar, and I like that. I like that for tournaments. Even though Mario is good, I think that is a possibility for takedowns and many takedowns. I mean, the line will tell you like that. I kind of would rather a guy who's pretty good at getting up, who's good at defending, because like if you have an elite guy at takedowns, like they're still going to get them, but then Mario's going to get back up probably, and then you have a potential for another one. And Umar has the tank; he can keep going. So I'm not worried about that at all. And yeah, I like him as a contrarian. I'm going to be heavy on those 8K fights though, like you said, the Rebecca Ludovic Klein fight, the Nasrat fight. I really like those fights, so I'm going to be heavy on those fights. I like the Wood fight as well for DFS. So those are 3 fights that I'm definitely going to be in on. What about favorite bets, Mike? You got a favorite bet or two for the people?
Favorite bet on this slate is as simple as a Mackenzie Dern money line. Let's just make it nice and easy. Put a bow on it. Her price is very playable on DraftKings Sportsbook at -150. I don't think you have to overthink things. I think that on the feet, it's night and day. She's going to have an advantage. She's going to have a volume very clearly. On the mat, it very much, like you said, is not going to look like the old fight. It's going to be even back and forth. I think that there could be reversals back and forth. So don't be surprised if the line starts flipping early, right? Like if somehow Vernadova gets that takedown early, which she definitely could, that line's going to flip. It's going to be an opportunity to buy back on Mackenzie Dern. And when you're looking at maybe like a bigger number, give me like a Walter Walker second or third round. I think that he can survive it, because I bet you that's a bigger number. I want to give big numbers, and people are hating. People are absolutely hating our takes in the chat about Chris Barnett. Give him the love that they need.
My guy Cubs asking, what's the Barnett bet? I think I'm gonna sprinkle Chris Barnett by second and third round KO, 22 and 30 to 1. So I think that's what I'm going to be sprinkling on, because the cards, I don't know if I can trust if this thing goes to the cards if he wins. But
we didn't even mention that there will be one bullshit decision. Absolutely guaranteed.
At least one.
Down. If you had over 0.5 bullshit decisions, there's guaranteed to be one. Christina brings up a good point. I have a bias. I should have said it. Mackenzie Dern, 150-1 to be champion by the end of this year. That was my play to win like $2,000, $13. But there's some bias, of course. But the thing is, I try.
That's definitely some bias. That's definitely a little bias.
I mean,
you should literally just hedge and sprinkle on sprinkle a little bit.
Of course, you're the guy that says don't do that. You like to gamble. I will probably be having some.
Yeah, but you're the guy who's the opposite. So I'm saying you should hedge because you're the same. Yeah, me, if I got $13 on, I'm probably just letting it fucking ride.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I probably will because of the case by case. When I had the Khalil Roundtree, I had to fucking hedge on a -420, dude. On what's his name? Poetan.
Listen, there's a world where Verna gets the takedowns and somehow stays safe and wins a decision. Like I don't think she finishes Mackenzie on the ground, but there's a world where she's just on top for more of the fight.
The Yan Jianian type of spot.
Yeah.
Which that when you look back at like revisionist history, what the fuck happened in that fight for Mackenzie Dern? I mean, that was I don't know. That was a weird one.
I have no idea. For me, for bets, I'm definitely going to load up on Nasrat money line. I like him here, so that's probably going to be one of my personal heavier bets on the card. And then I'm just trying to see if there's anything.
You like Amaram by submission +100. I just want to draw that to your attention. I like the ability that if you're building that 33% boost for exact outcome on DraftKings, which you should be using. Let's be honest, right? JSU, that's a 33% boost. I think if you're adding a leg, Amaran by decision or submission is -330. That's a nice leg to add, even if you have confidence on another one. It kind of gives you the floor of both of those things happening. And if not, just use the boost on the +100 and start your night off right with a win.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also think there could be a finish in the Klein-Rebecki fight. So if you don't want, I like Klein, but if you don't want to pick a side, you can also do that fight to win via KO at +150. I think that's.
I'm locking in the submission. I want to start the night off right. 33% boost.
All right.
For me. Meaning I'm clicking the button right now. Like, let's just start the night off with a winner. And we end up going next week. What do we have, fights next week? Or we got a week off? Honestly, it's all running together at this stage. I'm clicking through. I'm stalling.
Let's see. Do we have fights next? November 1st is the next one. So yeah, we got fights.
Awesome. I'm trying to see who we got on this card. November 1st.
Garcia Onama.
Now that's a banger.
It's a banger. I love David Onama. God, I love David Onama.
I love Dave so much.
One of my favorite dogs. I love when he's a dog on the card. He's
Garcia. Dog. Main event.
Guys, by the way, if you like the video, if you appreciate the up to lock, pretty much up to lock anyways, hit the like button on the video as you head out. We appreciate all the likes.
Get your ass in Discord. Live bets. Good banter back and forth. Make sure you guys are subscribing to Run Pure Sports. We have everything out there. I mean, JSU, football, basketball, hockey. Yep. I mean, hockey's back. I hate the damn sport. I'm not hating in a bad way, but just I can't build a damn good winner in lineup. I go to Discord. I just kind of see some cores on the RPS website. I'm building winners now.
That's it. I mean, that's it. I don't know shit about hockey, so I can't tell you nothing, but we got guys in there that know hockey. We got guys in there for all the sports. So if you guys like all sports or a couple of these sports, you want to get in, even the smaller sports, we got it covered pretty much. We got League of Legends, all that shit. So check us out.
This is the time to say this. I'm looking at that next coming fight cards, Garcia and Onama. You see what they're trying to do with Ante Dalia? Look at yourself right now. If you're not going to a sports book and look at an Ante Dalia to be champion by the end of next year, you're doing something wrong, because that's going to be a Mike Brown +200 type of number. Get the best number you can out there. Shop it around. I haven't even done it myself. I'm going to look right now as you're logging off to get the best number. Just because that's long-term betting, man. That's an investment.
And that's your bet all the way. So there you go. Lock that one in. Mike Sharp with those long shot bets. Good luck in your DraftKings DFS and betting today. For Mike, I'm JSU. Let's crush UFC again. And good luck this weekend, guys.